Yo, what is going on, guys? It is midnight, bringing you yet again another video. Now in today's video we're going to be talking about the new unit that is coming out on global, which for those of you who don't know, the kind of notification on the events tab came out today, and it is solution and Nazarick banner, so Nazarick solution. So yeah, today we're just going to go and talk about solution a little bit. We're also going to talk about the tier list as well, which I'm going to get to in just a moment. One thing I would like to say is big shout out to Express. This guy made me a new YouTube banner, and I think it looks really dope. Like, it's actually so cool. I think personally, like, it's very good. Yeah, this guy does kind of art for like for people that need banners. I think it's Twitter headers as well, and some other few things that he does. So I'll leave a link in the description, but yeah, massive shout out to him for making this banner. It looks really good. Yeah, really impressed. It looks really nice. So yeah, big shout out to him. Secondly, I'm going to talk briefly about the some of the changes in terms of the tier list. Now on the Discord server, and someone commented on one of the videos yesterday or the day before, whenever I uploaded my last video, talking about possibly getting back on the tier list making side of things because they're just not happy with what was previously done. I personally, like, when I came back, I didn't mind the tier list. I didn't think it was that bad at all. I just didn't kind of agree with the 4 stars being in there. But obviously that's all down to preference personally. Like, you know, the 4 stars being in there is also cool and everything. But for me personally, and I think quite a lot of you guys, you didn't really like that. So I have kind of worked with a few other people in doing a global tier list. It's not just me and Nazarick doing a tier list now. It's the 2 of us and about 3 or 4 other people as well on the global side of things, and then the JP one is like 3 or 4 of us. So yeah, take the tier list with a grain of salt, because this has had like quite a dramatic change to what it was before. Like, there's a few units that have swapped about just because of different terms of ranking units, but we still have one more person to talk to about the tier list to kind of make a few changes, see if there's any valid points, and then we'll kind of swap the units based around what he thinks. So yeah, we'll kind of come to that as well, but for the time being, just take everything with a grain of salt in this video today, but besides from Nazarick solution herself. But when we get to the tier list stuff, so Nazarick solution is an enhancer. She is a heart type unit, so the yellow type. Overall, this unit is actually pretty decent. She's pretty well balanced, I think, personally, considering her stats. You know, she's pretty tanky. She's got the base 400 speed, which is like where I would start considering, you know, speed to be quite good. So yeah, that's always great. The attack's a bit low. Granted, you know, solution is actually an enhancer, not really an attacking unit, but still, like, 7k attack isn't too bad. Would it be, if it was high, would it be great? Yeah, it would be brilliant. But her defense and her HP and her decent speed are really quite good for the unit that she is. Her resistances are really good as well. I mean, Shining and Thunder. She takes extra damage to poison and dark. There's not many units that do poison damage in the game at the moment. Dark is, you know, she's going to take big damage against, you know, dark units, mainly because they're going to be ints most of the time, so purple typing. But Thunder and Shining, that's pretty cool. You know, she's got pretty good resistances across the board. Going into her first skill is a 4 MP single target attack debuff. It does 120% poison with 32% elemental rate, with a 1.5% crit chance, which is going to be like the standard crit chance really for most skills attacks. And it also lowers defense for one enemy for 3 turns for 15% at max level. Now overall, this skill, if it was 3 MP, it'd be really, really good. Like, well, not really, really good, but it'd be pretty good. Like, it's not bad right now, but it's not amazing, which definitely pulls her down because it's 4 MP. But you got some decent damage on this skill, plus the elemental rate, which is really good. And the defense down is just quite a good bonus, I think, personally. Now, this unit you could very well use in raids. Granted, she's not the most efficient unit to have in a raid team, but you can still use her. You can deal damage. Not only that, but you can lower the defense so your other team are doing more damage as well. But we'll get to the tier list part in a moment, reason why she's ranked where she is. But yeah, she's overall, the skill is not bad. It's kind of like in between. It's a bit good, it's not bad. So yeah. Then you got a self buff skill, which increases poison by 40% for 3 turns, and you'll get +1 hit for 3 turns. For those of you that don't know, that basically means the chance of triggering poison on her AoE attack, which we'll get to in a moment, is increased over 71%. It will be a little bit higher than what it is there. So it'd be like about 80% roughly. 80% chance to inflict poison, which is pretty cool. So overall, that self-buff skill is actually not really bad at all. That's a big bonus to have. 40% poison element, that's pretty good. But I don't really see many people using it too much. But it's not a bad skill. Then you got her 5 MP AoE attack, which is 15% times 4, because it is deal 4 hits of 15%. So this is a 60% damage AoE attack with 32% elemental rate and a 71% chance to inflict poison. Again, this skill is pretty good. It's not amazing. It's pretty low on the damage side of things. But the fact that it's, 5 MP already gives it bonus points anyway, because you can kind of use the unit for farming. Granted, there are many units that are, quite significantly better at the moment that are better for farming. But the poison element is pretty cool to have on there, as well as the poison chance. It's just a little something to add to the, the AoE attack. But 60% damage. Overall, not bad. If you combine it with the self buff, you can still use the skill 2 times. So you self buff and then AoE 2 times in a row. You can still do that, and you can get off some pretty big damage, as well as obviously triggering poison a lot more. Then you got the 5% speed bonus, as well as the 10% physical and magical defense. The 5% speed would take her up to 420, 421 speed. Which is not bad. Like, it's kind of like where some of the top units base speed are, like Nazarick Aura, Nazarick Mare, and Halloween Demi. So not bad passives. Again, you can tell that this unit's a bit more on the tankier side of things. No really damaging or aggressive passive, just quite defensive, and the speed is just meh. And Overdrive for Chaos Field is again pretty good in my opinion for that one single boss at the end of the Chaos Field. At the moment, we don't really have a Chaos Field with int units, so there's not really a typing advantage. But if you have Solution and you get her to the end, getting that minus 52% defense and minus 30% speed is really good. The minus evasion is it just helps a little bit on the side there as well. So overall, the unit is not really that bad at all. There's not really any negatives, but there's not really any bonuses to the unit. There's not really anything you go, wow. There's not really anything you go, oh, that's pretty bad. Like, she's just got pretty baseline stats, which would then bring me up to the tier list. So this is the tier list that we got to so far, right? So this could very well change. It won't be, I don't think it'll be dramatic changes, but we still got to talk to with one more person with the tier list. But obviously I need to get this video out today, so we just kind of use this tier list for the time being. As you can see, Solution is in kind of the lower end of A tier, like bottom of the middle section, just behind Evil Eye, in front of Guts. Now she kind of sits in the A tier because she's not amazing at anything, which would be like S tier and top of A tier, but she's not bad at anything at all. Like, she can kind of fill any role in the team, in terms of, like, you can use her for farming, you can use her in raids, and you can also use her in Chaos Field with that single target attack, being quite good to have on like single target raids, Chaos Field, sorry, where there's like one enemy on each wave. So she's not a bad unit. She sits behind Evil Eye just because Evil Eye generally is a better farming unit, better for Chaos Field, and just better for raids in general. She just does more damage. Granted, the 15% defense down is great, but it's 1 MP more than Evil Eye's single target skill. Although she does sit ahead of Guts because with Guts, he's kind of, again, like, there's just many people that kind of fill his role. You could kind of argue Guts could go in front of Solution, but between those three, they're kind of all neck and neck right there. But I feel like with Solution, she's just got a bit more I don't know how to really say it. She gets a bit more used. Like at the moment, like you got to look at all these units as well and value the fact that she is the only poison kind of damage dealer right now that we have that deals good poison damage. I know we've got Solution Swimsuit and we've got Albedo and what's her name, Neuronist, but in terms of poison damage, like for some of the raids, she's going to be quite a good pick for that sort of sense, which is kind of why she's got a little bit more value than Guts, in my opinion. But again, as I said at the start of the video, take this video with a grain of salt. Some of these units could change about. It obviously does go left to right. I'll quickly briefly talk about, just before I end the video, how this list kind of works. So the units in S tier are kind of like the best in a set role. Like they just excel at something, right? So Nazarick, what's her name? Shizu, just the highest DPS unit in the game. Demiurge and Ainz are both, like the Samurai one, are both very good at pretty much everything that they do. They can be used anywhere. Aura and Aura, same thing, very good single target damage. Solution, probably the best tank in the game that we have at the moment. And Demiurge Halloween, he's just the best farming unit right now in the game. Entma, you guys already know by now, Entma's sick. And then it just kind of goes down, and like, you know, you kind of spread out the units a little bit more because, you know, they're not really as good as some of the ones in S tier. So yeah, we do kind of separate them. Like the two auras you can't really have next to each other, because if you had both of them, the Halloween one does more damage, so you more often than not use the Halloween one over the Nazarick one, so you would kind of lose value. So that's why we kind of drop it down a little bit. And with the two demis, the reason why Samurai Demi is just a little bit behind, like they're virtually the same but just a little bit behind the Halloween one, is because in the role that Samurai Demi fills, you've also got Wet Ainz that just does his role better than Samurai Demi, but for water. So yeah, I know that obviously he's got good typing, and so is he, like both of the Ainz and the Samurai Demi, but the fact that he has a little bit more damage means that he is kind of technically better, but they both do virtually the same thing. So that's why we put the Halloween Demi in front, just because he is the best farming unit. He's the only 4 MP one that we have right now. So yeah, hopefully that makes sense to you guys. If you have any questions or anything, then do leave it in the comments. Again, join the Discord if you want to join in with any like tier list chats, and like you actually want to hear how we kind of overview the units. But yeah, some of these changes will happen, and yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed the video, and take care, and peace out.